Picture a night where Europe's elite descend upon a British footballing cathedral, where history breathes, fans roar, and magic lingers under floodlights. These stadiums, each a living shrine, could host a Champions League final, but politics, infrastructure, or snobbery hold them back. Let's walk the terraces of 20 of them. 20. Stadium of Light. When the Stadium of Light opened in July 1997, it was a statement of ambition. So why will it never host a Champions League final? Politics and profile. Sunderland hasn't been in the Premier League since 2017. UEFA doesn't pick stadiums linked to clubs far from the top flight. It could deliver a magical final night, but for now, that dream is stuck in football's waiting room. 19. Elland Road. Built in the late Victorian era, it's been Leeds United's home since the club's formation in 1919. Despite modern safety work, much of the stadium's core structure is old, with narrow concourses and facilities that don't meet UEFA's luxury hospitality expectations. Leeds' turbulent reputation, both on and off the pitch, still lingers in football politics. For UEFA, Elland Road doesn't tick the shiny, corporate-friendly box. 18. Hillsborough. Built at the end of the 19th century, it has been Sheffield Wednesday's home for more than a century. Its infrastructure is aging, its transport links are stretched, and UEFA prefers stadiums without such a tragic association. That's the harsh political reality. Yet on a clear night under the floodlights, Hillsborough still feels like a theater built for the biggest games. 17. Villa Park. Nestled between Aston Hall Park and the Victorian Aston Hall itself, the ground is as much a part of Birmingham's heritage as any historic building. The stadium is elegant, with 4 distinct stands that combine old charm with modern upgrades. But while it has character in abundance, UEFA's checklist is less forgiving. The Midlands location doesn't have the same global prestige as London or Manchester. 16. Cardiff City. Opened in 2009, Cardiff City Stadium is a modern, well-designed ground that's home to both Cardiff City FC and the Wales national team. So why will UEFA never pick it for a Champions League final? One reason: the Principality Stadium. Just a mile away, it's bigger, capacity 73,931, has a retractable roof, and hosted the 2017 final. Good enough for big nights, but not the very biggest. 15. Pride Park. Sleek, all-seater, and a big upgrade from Derby's old baseball ground, it became a symbol of the club's Premier League ambitions. UEFA's finals go to cities and clubs with top-flight profiles. Add to that a relatively small capacity compared to other contenders, and Pride Park doesn't make the cut. It's a solid, capable venue, but in UEFA's eyes, solid doesn't sell a Champions League final to the world. 14. St. Mary's Stadium. When Southampton moved from the Dell to St. Mary's in 2001, it felt like a leap into the modern age. But size is the killer here. At just over 32,000 capacity, it's simply too small for UEFA's marquee event, which usually demands at least 50,000 seats. It's also not in a major international hub. London is 2 hours away, and Southampton's airport is small. 13. Riverside Stadium. Middlesbrough FC left the crumbling Hampton Park for a new Riverside home, built on reclaimed industrial land beside the River Tees. Its biggest weakness? Location. Middlesbrough is remote compared to England's major international gateways. The number of top-quality hotels is limited, and transport is awkward for huge traveling crowds. On football merit, the Riverside deserves a final. On corporate optics, it never will. 12. The City Ground. The City Ground sits on the banks of the River Trent, with Meadow Lane, home of Notts County, visible across the water. Plans for a major redevelopment aim to boost capacity and modernize facilities, but even at 35,000 seats, it falls short of UEFA's required scale. Parking is limited, hospitality space is modest, but it's not high on UEFA's list of global host cities. 11. Portman Road. It's been Ipswich Town's home since 1884 and has an old-school charm, with steep stands and a tight pitch that traps the noise. Ipswich is an hour from London by train, but doesn't have the hotel capacity or international transport links needed for UEFA's corporate juggernaut. At under 30,000 seats, it's less than two-thirds the size UEFA prefers for a final. 10. Turf Moor. In the heart of Lancashire sits Turf Moor, Burnley's proud home since 1883, making it one of the oldest continuously used grounds in the world. The infrastructure is charming for a league game, but laughably inadequate for a Champions League final. The concourses are cramped, the hospitality minimal, and getting here isn't simple. Burnley has no direct motorway link and a single small railway station. 9. Bloomfield Road. The Champions League trophy under the glow of Blackpool's famous illuminations, the sea breeze swirling through the stands, fans spilling out towards the beach after the final whistle. Sounds magical, right? But Bloomfield Road, built in 1899 and modernized in patches, is a stadium forever caught between its quirky location and its modest size. For UEFA's corporate circus, it's simply too small, too basic, and too far off their radar. 8. The Den. Opened in 1993 to replace the old, infamous Den, Millwall's ground was one of the first new stadiums in England after the Taylor Report. But Millwall's reputation travels faster than its team sheet. Decades of media focus on fan trouble have made the Den toxic in the eyes of UEFA's PR machine. Transport links are solid, but the optics? UEFA will run a mile. 7. Hampton Park. Opened in 1899, it has survived wars, economic collapse, and the slow march of modernization. UEFA, though, would take one look at the narrow turnstiles, tiny concourses, and limited VIP facilities and laugh it out of the room. The ground's listed status makes major redevelopment almost impossible. The Fratton end is in full voice, but just don't expect UEFA's champagne set to agree. 6. Stadium MK, Milton Keynes Dons. Built in 2007, Stadium MK is a gleaming, 30,500 capacity arena with wide concourses and the kind of corporate boxes UEFA loves. On paper, it ticks every single technical requirement for a Champions League final. Good transport links, modern infrastructure, and plenty of nearby hotels. So why will it never happen? Image. MK Dons remain English football's most controversial club, formed after Wimbledon FC's relocation. 5. KCM Stadium, Hull City. Opened in 2002, the KCM Stadium, now MKM Stadium, is a 25,586 capacity multi-use venue shared by Hull City and Rugby League's Hull FC. So why not? Hull's image problem. It's an honest, working-class city with little international glamour. UEFA doesn't just choose stadiums, they choose backdrops for their global broadcast. Hull's not the brand they want to sell. 4. Tannadice Park. Built in 1882, it's nestled in a dense neighborhood in Dundee, just a stone's throw from Dundee FC's Dens Park. But it's tiny, hemmed in by narrow streets, and surrounded by housing, meaning expansion is almost impossible. The facilities are dated, the corporate space is minimal, and UEFA would need a magnifying glass to find enough VIP seating. In another era. 3. Tynecastle Park. Built in 1886 and redeveloped in stages, it now holds 19,852 fans. The stands are steep, and the main stand's 2017 rebuild added a slick, modern frontage and improved facilities, but the ground is still hemmed in by housing and narrow roads. Tynecastle is a brilliant place for a Scottish Cup final, not for Europe's showpiece event. 2. The Valley. Opened in 1919, it has been expanded, closed, abandoned, and resurrected by the passion of Charlton fans. But in UEFA's pecking order, it sits in the shadow of London's bigger, shinier venues: Wembley, the Emirates, and the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Politics plays a part. UEFA's London finals will always go to the Giants. The Valley's corporate facilities are modest, and its profile outside England is minimal. 1. Hampton Park. This 51,866 capacity stadium actually has hosted a Champions League final in 2002 when Real Madrid beat Bayer Leverkusen. But the truth is, it will probably never happen again. UEFA now favors newer, steeper, more TV-friendly designs, which is a loss for football's soul. Hampton is steeped in history, but the corporate era doesn't reward romance. Hampton for Europe's biggest night. Its time has passed. And there you have it. 20 stadiums across the UK that could, in another world, host football's grandest club final. But infrastructure, politics, image, and a dash of UEFA snobbery keep them off the list. Thanks for watching. If you love the content, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and hit the subscribe button. See you in the next one.